Up next on today's beer review, we're going to be looking at Cape May Brewing Company's Mexican Coffee Stout, and this is coming in at 7.5% ABV. Let's go check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome back to End of the Day Beer Review. And today we are going to go down to the Jersey Shore for a bit. One of my favorite places to be, but not really this time of year. And we're going to be looking at not a Gusto beer, but a Cape May Brewing Company beer. And this is their Mexican Coffee Stout, and it says it is rich, roasty, and robust. And it says it is a stout brewed with coffee and spices, and it's coming in at 7.5% ABV. Now, it says here that our Mexican Coffee Stout has a satisfyingly complex grain bill, comprised of a variety of different malts, yielding a rich, layered profile with a silky smooth mouthfeel and firm cocoa-like bitterness. Conditioned on fresh and locally roasted cinnamon and guajillo peppers, Mexican Coffee Stout lands a perfect balance amongst coffee, spice, and rich stout base. Now, I've wanted to try this for a while. I like Cape May Brewing Company. You can see I've got a sign up there. I've got a sign for Gusto over there. And quite honestly, my Gusto sign might be replacing that Goose Island sign real soon. But anyway, what we're going to be looking at is my other, brewery that I like down in Cape May, which is Cape May Beer Company. Now, I find that Cape May Beer Company, and this is my opinion, is sort of hit or miss. Sometimes they hit it out of their park. They have a honey porter that's dynamite. They have, a bunch of beers. A Great White Shark, it's sort of a very light beer. They make, they make some really, really good beers. That being said, I've also run into some that have been okay, but not great. And some that I just did not like. They did a barrel-aged one a couple years ago that I got, Cement Ship, and I just found it lacking in flavor. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't what I was hoping for. So, when it comes to Cape May Beer Company, I find them to be hit or miss. But you know what? One, they're in a great place, and they have a great place to actually sit and chill and drink if that's what you want to do, especially during the summer, obviously. But when they really hit it, they hit it out of the park. They make a coffee stout, like a breakfast coffee stout that I think is epic. And quite frankly, their honey porter is probably my favorite beer, period, as far as an everyday drinker goes. So, they put out some good products. It's just, I think as they experiment and they're trying to make big brews of this, sometimes things just don't work out. All right, so let's pop this one open. I am using my Cape May Brewing Company glass, and we'll give it a pour. Oh, and this does pour dark, really, really dark. Made a mistake, and I picked a bad battery, and when that happens, the camera shuts off in the middle. Things are all screwed up. All right, so as I was saying before my camera died out from under me, it pours a nice dark color. This is jet black, silky smooth, and it does look like it has some good ability to cling to the side of the glass. I spilled a little there. All right, let's give it a smell. I'm getting a nice note of roasted coffee and a dark coffee at that. I want to say there's like a nutmeggy, cinnamony type of thing there, but I might be wrong. It's something like that. I can't quite place it. There's like a bitter chocolate smell to it as well, which I really do like. Altogether, it has all of the aspects of a nose that I like from Cape May Brewing Company. So if the nose is true, this is going to be a really nice beer. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, that's nice. So this is as if somebody has taken like a nice shot of a dark espresso roast and they've sort of infused some form of spiciness. Maybe it's the pepper, and just a hint of that pepper is there to give it a little bit of heat. but there's a dark chocolate flavor to this. I don't know if you've ever had the chocolate that's like super dark, that's like 80% cacao or something like that, or 80% cocoa. This reminds me of that. There's a certain sort of chocolate bitterness to it. It's sort of like that unrefined chocolate, and that layers quite nicely on top of the coffee. You know, I take risks when it comes to Cape May, and a lot of times I buy like a case without even looking at it. And, you know, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. This is excellent. I bought 2 6-packs of this to try it out, and I think the 6-packs were like $12.99 a 6-pack. So Cape May Brewing Company to me is a reasonably priced, you know, quite frankly, if they weren't 3 hours away from me, they and Gusto would be my daily drinkers, and that would be it. You know, all of the other stuff is sort of like irrelevant compared to just a good everyday type drinking beer. Now, I will say this, and I think it's the pepper. There is a certain amount of heat in my stomach now that's coming from this beer, but I think it's strictly from the fact that there is pepper in this. Yeah, so it's like a darker, chocolatey coffee stout with a little bit of heat. Now, I have to be honest, I have never been a fan of beer that is spicy, like hot, but they don't overdo it here. So it doesn't, for me, ruin this. There is a little bit more of a burn to the belly than I expected at 7.5, or is it 7.5? Yeah, 7.5. But you know, I don't think that's the alcohol. I really do think that little bit of burn is more the pepper that's in it. So would I buy it again? Yeah, it is a seasonal beer. It comes out once a year, I think, that I see it on their website and stuff. I would buy a 12-pack every time it comes out, much like their Oktoberfest, which I think is also really, really good, that I wind up buying a 6 or a case of it whenever, you know, they release it, which is normally, obviously, October. This is more sort of a winter beer for them. And again, would I buy a case of this? Probably not. Again, that pepper for me is a little more than I like. But aside from that, I think this is a really nicely crafted beer. And if you're the type of person that likes a little bit of heat in your beer, this'll get you. It's fantastic. I think it works really well. And there is that little bit of heat on the back end that, you know, sort of adds to the body of the beer. So once again, this is Cape May Brewing Company's Mexican Coffee Stout. Stout's brewed with coffee and spices. And it says that, you know, it says that it's going to have coffee, spice, and a rich stout base. And I gotta tell you, they delivered on this one. I think it's very, very good. And at $12.99 a 6-pack, I think it's also sort of a bargain. So I'm gonna sit back, enjoy the rest of this, and I'll see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers.